to my mother. We all have heroes in our lives. They are not necessarily adorned in a mask and a cape, but they are people we regard dearly, closer to our hearts, be it a mother, a father, an aunt, an uncle, a nephew, or a niece, or even a very close friend we have become acquainted to. They are treasured pillars in our existence that make it all worth the while. I stand here with heartfelt gratitude as I begin to immortalize an influential figure in my life, a tribute speech for my mom. I am sure that a few in here can relate to loss. It is a great cost to pay when such an unexpected event occurs. My mother met that fate at the tender age of 39. But I stand firmly to remember her contribution, not only to her family, but her friends, neighbors, and strangers alike. As I proceed in this discourse, I will divulge about her upbringing, life as a married woman and mother, her career, and lastly, how we, her children, have carried on in her physical absence. A glance about her youth will enlighten you on the early beginnings of this future, for me, a hero in the making. She grew up in the rural areas in southern Africa on a family farm, innocent and free with nature at her grasp. Milking a cow was second nature, and tilling the land was the norm when she was home from boarding school. To sustain their way of life, my mother's family bore the responsibility, toiling in the fields to plant grains, tended to the gardens for vegetables, and livestock for fresh eggs, milk, and meat. As much as this was familiar ground for my mother, I still recall how tickled as a little girl I would get, visiting the farm and taking it all in. It's times such as this that I truly embrace the experience, all thanks to my mother. Her limitless heart opened her to adventures in the city. She was unafraid and desired to see the world. On holiday in the city, while visiting her cousins, she was introduced to her would-be future husband. This would be an inception to a new chapter in her life. I would spend days elaborating on their courtship. Needless to say, within months after a traditional marriage ceremony, my mother left her home to start anew with her husband in the city. Swiftly, she was in the family way, with 5 children. I recall her humility and fairness with all of us. Her selflessness and thinking of others before her needs extended beyond my comprehension. She was one of those good people that did not live long enough to offer the world more of her kindness. Please pardon me if I'm babbling, but there are some in this audience who recognize what I'm trying to convey. Amidst her altruism to others, she persevered to raise 5 children, love her husband, but also pursue school with intentions of a career. When all the children were of school age, she returned to finish her high school, completed coursework for college, and secured what she constantly revered as one of the best jobs she could possibly have. Her determination to have it all, a family, an education, and eventually a career, are accomplishments to be reckoned with. Working at the medical school, she was exposed to a world some of us will not experience in a lifetime. Which brings to me the talents she possessed. Because she had come to know numerous doctors, she would ask some of them to visit the poor and afflicted who could not afford office visits. In most instances, they complied. From then on, my sister and I, Daisy, gracefully nicknamed her Mother Teresa. Secretly, however. This gesture carried on, well, until you get the idea. In a nutshell, this is the definition of the woman who was my mother. This speech does not do justice for her contribution to mankind. Perhaps a book, but for now, this will suffice. From meager beginnings, we have learned of a village girl who found the love of her life, started a family, and in the same token, chased an education, a career, and helped countless people along the way. My mother was a joy to be around. She was a person whose richness transcended all the gold in the world. She envisioned what she wanted to achieve, but thought of others throughout her journey. I do not claim perfection for my mother's behalf, But instead, I aim to inspire and celebrate with great admiration. Let her continue to live on with the works that she exhibited. She is that fabric woven into our lives, that still small voice, prompting us to unite and be sincere. This is how we have carried on. Inescapably, loss is a part of life. She lives on, especially on occasions such as this. Thank you.